Thank you. Thank you, Nirmal. Hi, everyone. I think we have been waiting for this session, so I understand that there are many students who basically still have not really got, the B school that they wanted. Okay, so yes, what we are going to do today is we are going to talk about these B schools. We'll be talking about these three exams. Please understand that these are like the last few exams that we have in terms of getting an admission into the 2025 season. Almost all the exams are over, so these are the last three that are left. So we will be talking about these exams, and we'll be talking about what we can do for these exams. That is something that we have in our mind today. Uh, Let me start by first talking about MAT. It is conducted by IMA. The conducting body is IMA, as we already know. Okay. Now, MAT is generally happening over 4 times in a year, but for for the 2025 admission season, this will be the last MAT. The next year's MAT, the MAT subsequent to this will not be for the admission to 2025 season. Uh, the next season of fresh admissions will be in February 2026. Now, MAT uh, is conducted, as I said, by IMA. It is conducted, as you already know, because the last date is almost already over for applying. Only the CBT version is still left. Uh, so MAT generally is conducted in two formats. It is, as Nirmal just said, it is essentially a paper-based exam as well as a computer-based exam. Whichever way you want to take it, that's your call. Now, generally, the math structure is that it is 120 minutes with 5 sections, total 150 questions, 30 questions each in each section. There is no sectional time limit, which will fundamentally mean that you can move about across the sections. You can do one RC question, then you can move to intelligence and critical reasoning. If you don't like it, you can come back to language comprehension, or you can go to mathematical skill. So you can move inside that paper throughout during these 120 minutes. There is no sectional time limit like CAT. So therefore, it is not that the first 30 minutes will be this, the second 30 minutes will be this, and so on. Okay. There are total 150 questions, and for every right answer you get 1 marks. For every wrong answer you get a negative 1/4. That's the structure of the paper, we already know. Now let's look at the syllabus. Why this becomes important for people, uh, as a consideration, why, what is different that is there. That is something which we might need to talk about in greater detail. Now, first thing first is that if I talk about the three sections, let me go back to the main three sections, and you will automatically understand that if I talk about the three sections, that is language comprehension, intelligence and critical reasoning, and mathematical skills, and to large extent data analysis and data sufficiency. These four sections are practically what you have already done when you are preparing for your CAT or SNAP or Maharashtra CT and everything. I mean, there is absolutely not much of a difference. Uh, what is different? Let's say in CAT, the LRDI section was combined into one. Here, the LR and the DI sections are segregated, which will fundamentally mean that if we are talking about LR, that is the logical reasoning part, which contains puzzles, which contains questions of blood relations, odd man out, cubes, calendars, Venn diagrams, arrangement, selections, and etc. That comes in the intelligence and the critical reasoning part. Okay, this also obviously contains the verbal based critical reasoning, including understanding what is an assumption, what is an argument, what is a premise, what is a conclusion, what is an inference, what is a judgment, and so on. So that part is included in the intelligence and the critical reasoning part. The part with data analysis and data sufficiency mainly contains tables, pie charts, graphs. So the calculation based data interpretation part is in the fourth section. Okay, the syllabus is more or less same as you have done for cat and snap and all the other related exams that you have done. uh, Very clearly you have arithmetic, which will include numbers and percentages and its application, time and work, time and distance. You have algebra, which will have linear and quadratic equations and inequalities. You have geometry, coordinate geometry, trigonometry a little bit, and obviously modern maths like permutation, combination, probability, and a little bit of statistics as well. Uh, there is no 100% trend as to what comes in the paper and what does not. Sprinkles of everything actually comes into the paper. However, one good thing about it is that the difficulty level, as well as the competition for the colleges which are through MAT, is definitely much lesser than the other exams that you have written, maybe CAT, SNAP, or ZAT. So therefore, one very important thing is that you need to practice a lot of mocks now. Okay, so the exam is on 31st and maybe not much time, but uh, given the situation, I don't mind if you give one mock today and one mock tomorrow. The mocks really help. Okay, because it is at the end of the day, I don't think you require any knowledge level push per se. What you require is the exam strategy. Now, what do I want you to keep in mind? Remember, this exam, as we have seen over the years, most of the business schools do not really worry about sectional cutoffs. Okay, it is ultimately your final score, your total net score, which matters. Okay, so I will not suggest you get negative in any section. But having said that, even if you are scoring zero or slightly above zero in one section, and you are scoring very high in any other section, which generally gives you your highest score overall, that should be a good strategy to apply to MAT. It will also be true for ATMA as well as KMAT. I'll just come back to them slightly later. But yeah, I mean, therefore, you should work on maximizing your total score and not really worrying about sectional cutoffs. You don't really need to worry about sectional cutoffs. You don't really need to think whether you will score negative or zero in quant. Can I dump the quant section and do all English questions, or can I dump the DI section and do all the LR questions? The answer is yes. Okay, if you dump it completely, I don't think there'll be much of an issue. Okay, maybe one institute or two institute might create some furor during the interview, but interview call you will get. Okay, so that's the whole point. You'll have to understand that that's the whole point, that you have to work on maximizing a score and not really on sectional cutoffs, which will mean that during those 120 minutes, irrespective of the section, you should concentrate on doing the standalone questions from VA and Quant. The standalone questions, the one which are singular questions, one which are not in a group. Okay, not data interpretation where one pie chart has like four questions following it, or one arrangement questions with a data of 5 lines and followed by four questions following it. Try to do these standalone questions first, irrespective of the section. So, for example, if I talk about the VA section, I will recommend that you do the verbal ability questions first, the vocabulary questions, the grammar questions first, and keep the RC for later. Okay. Similarly, in data interpretation section, the data analytics section, you should do the data sufficiency questions first and do the DI calculation based part later. Okay, so prioritize. You will never be able to finish off all the DS questions or all the verbal ability questions along with 120 minutes, so that is not possible. I'm sure if you decided to do like one layer of all standalone questions, okay, maybe for approximately 1 hour, and then the next 1 hour being targeting the set questions. That will be the correct strategy to apply when you are writing math. Okay, so that is very very important to understand that uh, avoid RC, avoid DI in the first round. When I say avoid RC, avoid DI, I am not saying dump them completely. What I mean to say is that you need to avoid that in the first round. Okay, come back to them in the second round. So try for 1 hour, try to finish off all the standalone questions of all the first four sections. Come back to GK, the economic and business environment, later. I'll come back to that. But yeah, the first four sections, maybe one round of 1 hour, going through all the standalone questions and trying to do as much as possible. Okay, then the next 50 odd minutes, you try to do all the set questions now, whether it is from RC, whether it is from DI, whether it is from the critical reasoning part, wherein now we'll have to do the set questions, one data followed by four questions, or one data followed by five questions, maybe for RC or DI. Okay, so that's the strategy that I am recommending while writing math. Okay, you should not attempt wild guesses. Okay, this is a paper where if you are getting a fair amount of positive marks, because the competition is less, your percentile automatically goes higher up. Okay, so therefore one thing that everybody should avoid is wild guesses. Okay, so don't get desperate about it. Score of 0 is always better than a minus 0.25. So therefore make sure that you solve the questions, take your time, there is no hurry. I don't think that Matt is very worried about time and time management and speed and etc. So therefore do your questions well. uh, Target is always to do about approximately 50% of the questions, and you should be able to do more than enough of that. So be patient, try to solve the questions, utilize the concepts that you already know of, and just keep an eye on the clock, and you should be able to manage math very very with good flying colors. I think that's what I wanted to say. uh, the cutoffs are generally low. Generally, for the best of the institutes under MAT, you should be starting to get calls at approximately 75 to 80 percentile. Yes, obviously the interview will play a role. Obviously the GD will play a role, but getting less than 80 percentile is just wasting a good opportunity to be getting called by the best of the institutes in India. Okay, now just to share with you that in the comment section we will be sharing with you the best colleges that take the MAT score or the ATMS score or the KMAT score. So if you have any queries, just go through the comment section, or leave a comment for us, and we will answer their queries then and there. The GK section is something which actually it depends. For example, if you have actually prepared for GDPI in the last 2 3 months, then there is a chance that you are good with GK. Okay, especially because this is not really static GK. Most of the questions that come in MAT comes from the economic finance backgrounds as well as the business environment. It is not theory of finance or theory of economics, but news about economics, news about business environment, uh, news about mergers and deals, and any news related to economics or the corporate world and something like that. So therefore, if you have been reading, going through articles for your GDPI preparation in the last 2 3 months, this section does not require more than 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, you should be able to finish off whatever you can do. Generally a good attempt in GK in this section out of the 30 questions is approximately anywhere between 12 to 15, and you should be able to 12 to 15 questions in less than 10 minutes. Okay, see, the good thing about GK is either you know or you don't. So therefore, the moment you read the question, you will know whether I know it or I don't know it. And therefore, it does not really require more than 15 odd seconds per question to attempt. So therefore, coming back to the time management and repeating it, you have to give some time to the GK section, which will mean that if you keep yourself 5 to 10 minutes, then keep yourself 5 to 10 minutes. The rest, 1 hour 50 minutes, you should concentrate on the first four sections. That is how you play, which will fundamentally also mean that, as I said, keep yourself approximately 55 minutes to 1 hour just to finish off all the standalone questions, and then the next 40 to 50 minutes on doing the set questions. The last 10 minutes can be kept for GK, where you are tired and your brain has stopped doing the calculations and etc. That is where GK will come into effect, and you can easily do the GK. Divide the remaining time equally, lean to your strongest section. If you think your quant is the strongest, then spend the maximum time on quant. Yes, you can ignore the English part for a little bit till the time you are scoring zero or positive, I think, and you are maximizing your score, of course. I think it is a job well done so far as math is concerned. Okay. Uh, Atma is a slightly different structure. Okay. A slightly strange structure, because they have two sections for the same thing. Okay, so this is something which I don't think any Indian student who has not seen that or studied that before will be knowing. There are total six sections. There are sectional time limits of 30 minutes each. So the paper is actually long. It is 3 hours paper. Okay, it's a 3 hour paper. Keep that in mind, with two sections each for analytical reasoning skills, verbal skills, and quantitative skills. There is a typo that I can see: verbal skill 1 and verbal skills 2. Okay. Now, yes, there are two sections each. uh, there is no real correlation between section 1 and section 2, so don't put your head into analyzing that why there are two sections for section 1 and section 2 for quantitative skills only. It's mix, I think. Atma loves to, also want to see your managerial capability of sustaining 3 hours, uh, you know giving you a different flavor in section 1 and section 2. Does it mean that section 1 is easier and section 2 is tougher? No, not necessarily. Does it mean that the syllabus of section 1 and section 2 are different? That is also not true. Over the years, we have seen that both the sections are actually mix of everything. So for example, if you look at verbal skills, in the section 1 also there is RCVA vocab. Section 2 also there is RCVA vocab. uh, if I had to take a guess, it was fundamentally just to make sure that, they want to check whether you are capable as a manager to deal with a longish paper for 3 hours. Don't forget that cat used to do that long back. Pre-COVID, cat used to be 3 hours. So fundamentally, this is a paper which has followed this structure for some time. The syllabus more or less remains same. I'll come to the syllabus part of it in a short while. But yes, this is three sections. There is no GK. You don't have to worry about GK. You don't have to worry about uh, business knowledge and etc. The institute might have a GDPI after the paper and the shortlisting of your candidature. But yes, in the exam right now, there is no GK. However, as usual, 1 mark for a right answer and minus 0.25 for a wrong answer. That's how the paper works. Okay. Now, KMAT is a special paper conducted for BE schools based out of Karnataka. If you look at the list of institutes, most of them, they are all AICTE approved or state university approved, and uh, most of them are located out of Bangalore. Now, one thing that goes as a myth, okay, and let me clarify this upfront, that there is no requirement of you to be staying in Karnataka or a domicile of Karnataka to be giving KMAT. Okay, this is a paper that is happening online. That is a paper that you can take from home. It's a completely online, take from home, internet based paper, exactly like GMAT or any other paper that take home paper that you can do. Okay, this is the last exam of the 2025 cycle. As I said, anybody across the country, if you have a good internet connection, can take the paper from their home. Okay, three sections, again: language comprehension, mathematical skills, basic aptitude. uh, the basic aptitude part is fundamentally what is logical reasoning. uh, that the good news about KMAT is there is no negative marking for the paper. So therefore, the one strategy that I will always tell about KMAT, and there is no sectional limits either. Okay, so please remember that this is a very important thing about ATMA, that ATMA has sectional time limits. Okay, you have to stay with analytical reasoning skills 1 for 30 minutes before you move to analytical reasoning skills 2. Okay, so out of the three exams, this is the only exam which has sectional time limits. Both MAT as well as KMAT does not have sectional time limits. You can move throughout the paper in that 2 hours, 120 questions, and 120 minutes. There is no negative marking in the paper as of now, with whatever we know from the official website. Now, therefore, how KMAT is different from the other two exams? Here, attempting all the questions becomes imperative. Okay, so therefore, what we fundamentally mean to say is that you have to attempt all the 120 questions in the paper, which will mean fundamentally something like that you do the paper very very seriously, as much seriously as possible, choosing the question, doing them right, dumping a question when you are not getting it right, uh, trying out, doing the calculations well, everything can be done. Okay, these are all allowed till approximately 100 and I will say 12 minutes. Okay, and then keep the last 8 minutes to mark it all. Whatever you have not marked, you just have to mark it all. Okay, and you pray to God that it works. Because trust me, since there is no negative marking, even if we get even 50% of the questions that we do wild guess right, your score will just implode, your score will just go up. Okay, so that's an opportunity that you should not miss. Okay, there is absolutely nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose. So therefore, why will not you mark all the questions? Okay, but even if they go wrong, you have nothing to lose. If they go right, it only gives booster to your candidature. So therefore, KMAT, very very clearly, you give the paper as much correctly as possible, as much sincerely as possible, maybe for 112 minutes, 115 minutes, and so on. I will suggest that you keep at least 8 minutes for the last wild adventure. uh, but yeah, I mean, 5 minutes will be too less. I don't want you to miss out on any question, and that 5 minutes might be too less, because out of 120 questions, sincerely, you should be able to attempt approximately 60 to 70 of them, which itself is a good score. Okay, and then if you are left with 50 questions, even if I take around 15 seconds to just go there, not read it, mark something. Okay, then also you require approximately 8 to 10 minutes uh, to finish it off. So that is why I'm saying that keep yourself at least 8 to 10 minutes last leg, to make sure that you attempt all the question, no question is left unattempted. Okay, now that remains the basic difference of KMAT with respect to MAT as well as ATMA. Remember, both MAT as well as ATMA has negative marking, and therefore I'm saying don't take wild guesses. You don't have to attempt too many questions. You attempt around 40 to 50% of the paper. In MAT and ATMA, you should be able to get a very good score. Okay, you should not take wild guesses. Question nahi aata hai, nahi aata hai. You don't get it, you don't get it. That's all. In KMAT, I'm saying go berserk, give the paper sincerely for 110 minutes, okay, and then you just absolutely go sir, go for a and don't believe in all those you know strange type of fundas that people give, that you should be marking all of them B or all of them A or something like that. It really does not matter. Okay, a wild guess is a wild guess, and it really does not follow any so-called sustainable logic. So all fundamentally I'm saying is that you go ahead, uh, just ensure that not one single question is left out. Okay, having said that, uh, make sure before you start KMAT you read the directions very very properly. What I'm telling you is based on whatever we have as an information till now from the official website. If they want to change the policy on the day of the exam and introduce a negative marking, you should be careful about that. So therefore there goes the disclaimer that KMAT is the authority. It is the Association of Private Management Schools in Karnataka. So therefore, when we are talking about KMAT, just ensure that there is no negative marking. It will be written somewhere in the directions. Take that direction. Keep that in mind. The most important part of KMAT is that no question should be left unattempted. Okay. Now, therefore, the most important part, how are these exams different from CAT, STAT, SNAP? Okay, whatever you have done till now, what do I need to prepare more? Is there anything that I need to prepare more? Is there anything that I need to do differently? Okay, that's the question that you should ask yourself. I think the most important difference is that in CAT, ZAT, slightly in SNAP, but in mostly CAT and ZAT, the emphasis on vocab based question was very very less. Okay, so when you are preparing for CAT or when you are preparing for ZAT, I don't think you would have prepared a list of words, foreign words, rare words, okay, tough looking words, and etc. Because that was not something that had been asked in CAT and ZAT for a long, long time. So therefore, all these exams, the CAT, ZAT, SNAP, to large extent, NMAT that you had prepared, the emphasis on vocab based questions was very very less. Okay, it was there, I'll not say it was not there, but uh, do you really need to prepare for that level of vocab questions? The answer is not really. Here in these exams, the emphasis on vocab based questions is quite high. Okay, in the verbal section you actually have questions on right usage of the word, so they will give you fill in the blank. Okay, and they will give you four options as whether walking or strolling or running is the correct word for that context of the type of work that the person is doing. Okay, or maybe do you stand under a tree or do you sit beneath a tree? Do you understand the difference between under and beneath? Okay, so for example, when you go under, you don't have any further level left. Okay, so when you go under a tree, that fundamentally means that you will, there is nothing else more down that you can go. Okay, but you can be standing beneath the second floor. Okay, because you can go further down and can go further below to first floor or maybe ground floor. Okay, so do you understand the difference between under, beneath, those right usages of vocab? That is something which makes this paper quite different from CAT, SAT, SNAP. So if you uh, have not prepared that, I would suggest that over the next 3 days for MAT and whatever days are left for ATMA and KMAT, you should definitely give a revision of vocab based questions from the mocks. Okay, understand the usages. Even if you get the question right from the mocks, go to the vocab questions, check out the three wrong answers, and try to understand why they are wrong. Okay, this is a very very important preparation level that you will need to do for these exams. So I repeat what I mean to say, understand it properly. Let's say you gave a mock for ATMA. Okay. Now, once you give the mock, you will get some questions right. The vocab based question, let's say you get it right. Now, if it is quant, you really don't have to worry, because if you have got it right, that means your theory was right. Okay, and there is nothing much to learn from it. Maybe a revision will do, but the solid add-on that you will get from a quant question is not much. Okay, however, a vocab based question helps you to learn a lot more. It is 4x learning, because you should not concentrate on the right answer. The question you have already got right. You should, however, know why the other three options are wrong. Okay, that is something which is going to create a hell lot of a difference in terms of preparation for these exams. Okay, now this is number one. The second important part is antonym, synonym, and odd man out. Okay, now this requires you to memorize, not only to understand the meaning but also to memorize. Okay, so maybe it is not a bad idea that whenever you are getting a new word during these preparations, uh, go to a dictionary, go to a website. I understand that many people will have their dictionary in mobile phones now. In my time, there used to be a thick book called a dictionary. So you can take up the Merriam Webster app, or you can just simply go to Google or any AI and check out the meaning of those words and try to find out some antonyms and synonyms of those words. Okay, so that is something which will be important. Okay, uh, the level of these exams, I am guessing some technical difficulty here. The feed seems to have stopped. Okay, so coming back, yeah, it's back. So yeah, so the second thing is obviously that, therefore, as I said, you need to memorize them. Okay, it is not a bad idea to memorize them as much as possible. These antonyms, synonym, odd man out, and etc. Just make sure that you write them down on a notebook. uh, Go to a website, go to Google, go to Chat GPT, suggest for an antonym or a synonym. So let's say you got a word like sequestered. Okay, now first of all, you understand the meaning of the word sequestered, and then go to Chat GPT, maybe go to some other AI. Your WhatsApp now has a AI. Suggest for antonyms of the word sequestered, suggest for synonym of the word sequestered. Okay, and write them down somewhere. Please don't rely on your memory capabilities. Okay, write them down somewhere, maybe during this whole preparation for the next 3 days for mat, and whatever time you have left for ATM and KMAT. Antonym, synonym, and odd man out. The good thing about these questions is if you get them right, they finish off like this. Okay, so therefore these questions are all standalone. They don't take much time. They get solved very quickly, and therefore they are easy marks. Okay, so make sure that this preparation is actually done in terms of at ATMA, KMAT, and MAT. Okay, the data sufficiency questions are something which you might have prepared for NMAT or even SNAP. So you already know this structure, how it works. The data sufficiency part is always tricky. So it is not a bad idea to maybe revise that as a concept, do some data sufficiency questions from the mocks, maybe go back to your SNAP or even NMAT mocks, and revise the data sufficiency questions. Again, the good thing about data sufficiency questions, quick scores, quick marks, gives you quick marks, but yes, they are tricky sometimes. So therefore you will need to understand the algorithm properly, and that will help you to get quick marks. uh, as I said, the level of difficulty as well as the competition uh, in these three papers is easier than CAT or ZAT or SNAP. There are ample number of seats. uh, However sad it might sound, but truth of life is that a huge amount of competition is already gone. Okay, so these papers are written by very less number of people, who actually till date has not been able to get into a good aspirational college, if I may say so. All the colleges are very good actually, but yes, you might be wanting to go to a higher level college or something like that, which you could not do. And you also don't want to lose a year, as Nirmala was saying, that please understand that value of time is very high compared to a college. Okay, so therefore whenever you are talking about time, please understand it is one full year of your life that you will be losing out, unless and until you are 100% sure that you can do much better than this, both in terms of financially, psychologically, as well as in terms of the exam scores. You should not be losing a year. Okay, given a choice between you not being able to clear cat, should you take a college this year, and should you take cat next year, I am not the right person to answer that. You yourself have to ask yourself that how much money do you and your family have, how much time do you have and your family have, how much time do you and your loved ones have. Okay, and based on that, take a call. If you are risk free, then yes, maybe next year, uh, maybe what they try. But even if you have, let's say, 50% risk, it is always advisable to take admission, secure something. Okay, I know it is at the cost of money. Even if you want to write cat next year, it should not be sitting at home idle. Okay, it should be either sitting in a college, ensuring that there is a backup plan, or at least you have a job, a well paying job, which ensures that you again another have a backup plan. So therefore, make sure, yeah, make sure that uh, you are well prepared with this exams. Okay, and these exams actually are a gateway to a lot of good colleges, a lot of institutes which will give you good ROI at the end of your 2 years. Okay, as long as you are unnecessarily not doing blind guesses, except for KMAT, of course. Okay, both for ATMA as well as MAT, achieving good score is not very difficult. You should be able to get good score with fair number of attempts. 30, 40, 50% of attempts is very good. You start getting calls, as I said, from approximately 70, 80 percentile, because the competition has actually come down a lot of it. So therefore, make sure that you don't take wild blind guesses. Manage your time properly. For GK, don't keep too much time. Rest of the time you concentrate on your strong sections, except again for ATMA. Okay, that should ensure that you get a good score. Okay, that's the whole idea. uh, this is what is about KMAT. KMAT registrations are now open. The MBA colleges. These are articles that are there on campussutra.com. You can go through these stories. You can go through it. Top colleges accepting KMAT. You can see it here. We have got Alliance University, Jain, AIMS, Acharya Bangalore, okay, Don Bosco, ISBR, Trishtu Jayanti, okay, BMS College of Engineering, and obviously GRV. So, who is our knowledge partner for today's session? Okay, most of these colleges are, as I said, private institutions. The fees, as you can see, are very reasonable, and therefore uh, the ROI that you get from these colleges are also very reasonable. Please understand that there is almost half of uh, less than half actually for sometimes from most of the national level colleges. If you would have done it from a symbiosis, or for that matter the IMs and etc., they would have costed you more than 30 lakhs. So here you can see that almost all of them are less than 15 lakhs. So therefore the ROI factor, that is the placement that you get, divided by the amount of money that you are investing in it, that creates a hell lot of a difference. Okay, so therefore, uh, when you calculate, these are not bad colleges at all. This is better than definitely losing out on 1 year, and waiting for it without any guarantee of a future. That's how you play. For the next part, I will invite Nirmale to come here.
Thank you, Dhruva sir. It was a wonderful session as usual. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, 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 you are.
Yeah, yeah. So what I was saying is thank you very much. It was awesome as usual. The couple of points which you have mentioned. One, of course, as we all are aware that this exams, ATMA, MAT or KMAT, is a tad maybe easier than the difficulty level of ZAT or CAT, and hence, the reason why we are organizing this today is a one more chance, probably the last chance for students who are opting for, who are aspiring for the MBA and for the 2025-27 batch. Now they can enhance the scores. Of course, you have given us given a lot of good tips to them. They can take as many as mock tests they want from the Campus Sutra website. That's freely available. They have to just log in and they have to just go for the mock test. That is there, it's freely available. The other thing also which you were sharing is there are a lot of B schools and which are still the seats are open, the admissions are open, and lot a lot depends on the student's quality today for the recruiter rather than the brand. There are many recruiters who not much go by the brand than the skill sets which the student probably would have. And here is again the reason why we wanted to showcase few of the B schools. Just a moment, let me try to pull up my screen and show you the PPT which we were sharing. Is my screen available? Is it
Yes,
very visible?
yes, you have to put it on slideshow.
Yeah. Okay, so there are a lot of colleges which are listed in KMAT 2025 if you search in Campus Sutra. Similarly, if you do a search in ATMA or MAT, you would find a lot of top B schools listed out. Here, Dhruv sir was already telling that these B schools have been selected, curated based on the fees and the ROI. So here, except GRBSOM, which is a startup B school, the rest are all existing B schools, and the fee structure which we have kept here is somewhere between 12 to 15. And we would like to highlight here that yes, these are all top B schools, and one of the criteria which we always have for comparing or evaluating any B school is the ROI factor, which is basically the fees versus the average CTC, and that is the reason we also have something called calculate the ROI in MBAapplications.in under campusitra.com. Now, one thing which I would like to highlight here is apart from the fact that the placement, the average placement data is one of the key component. There are new age B schools like GRBSM, or maybe there's one more which is Badruka, which is in Hyderabad. Then there's one in Greater Noida, which is Sparsh Global. These have come up with a new pedagogy, new kind of this thing. Especially, I am talking about GRBSM, which is the people behind GRBSM are IIM ex IIM former IIM faculties and also industry leaders. Now the admissions are open. One can definitely go to their site and see, check. In the meantime, I would like to share some information. If this video opens up and it can play, I think this is a concise report sort of which would give students an idea of what to expect from GRBSM. Yeah, so coming back to this thing that yes, TRB is one of the options, but there are other B schools also you can evaluate. If there is any kind of query, any kind of questions on any particular B school or the exam, KMAT, MAT, CMAT, we are there. You can drop a line to us, to our WhatsApp channel or our email IDs. We would be very helpful. We would be grateful to help you out. And for anything, for any kind of evaluation, do let us give us a brief about the profile which you are having. A lot of students keep on asking us with just the score or not much information about the background or about the details about himself or herself, which makes us a little difficult for us to give them a perfect option, or maybe what are the best options for that person could be. Also, what specializations one is probably aiming. The first year, of course, we are all aware that everything is like, you even if you are choosing for a finance or a IT or operations or HR, whatever be it, it would be the same. From second year onwards, the specialization comes into play. But since first year, you need to at least be sure that what are the roles you are actually probably would be going for after the campus. You leave the campus. So that is the reason it is important to select your specialization, and also select a college based on that. Try to check a couple of things when selecting the college. That is the number of faculties who are from PhD. Most of the colleges today have only PhDs. Also, a mix of industry. What kind of faculty ratio is from the industry background, who can bring in a lot of exposure of the industry. The second is, the third is, of course, the people behind the management who can bring in the corporate tie-ups, and also some kind of student exchange programs which they may have. For example, this particular institute, they have an immersion program, international immersion program, which they call it, and that is included within the fees, that is the 12 lakhs. So when you are investing a particular amount of money, 12 lakhs, 16 lakhs, you need to also check out what is there in return. As, apart from the placement, there are a lot of other things which you can also, the experience, the infrastructure. These are the things which one should be evaluating for any kind of before any kind of selection. So that's it for now. Do take the mock test. Do visit campussutra.com for more and more options and details of B schools. Evaluate, select, take a smart choice, and we are always there to help you out. Thank you, Dhruv sir. With this, I close this session today. And if there is anything else, or if there is any other demand, maybe we can do one more session before June 8th. Thank you, everyone.